guys, Brooke and Laura here for Lawyering Outside the Lines. We are back. Last week we had another commitment that we're going to briefly mention, but so we couldn't be with you last week, but we are excited to be back this week. And we are discussing the challenges that solos and small firms face with marketing, especially on a budget. And specifically, we're talking about how we leverage technology. I've been talking about technology all morning, actually. Been an hour talking about technology. We do leverage technology. That is a thing. If you don't know, if you're new here, you should know that already if you've been here. But if you're new here, we leverage technology. But no, how we leverage networking and collaborations to build our brand and referral sources. And so our focus is really on relationships. People want to do business with people they like. And so we spend a lot of time, and we actually enjoy spending that time on relationship building. And today we wanted to share with you 3 keys that we think are important for relationship building. The first is being authentic. Be your authentic self. Be a human. That's one thing about being virtual that we really have to drive home is being human. It's not just the computer. We're not just generating forms over here. We're actually human beings. That's why you see us on social media. Our clients also see us on social media. This is an embarrassing story about me, but being vulnerable is really important, and it also helps kind of form some of those bonds. The more relatable you are, the more likely people want to interact with you, hear your story, do business with you. But I guess it was yesterday. I don't know. I feel like today is Monday part 2. But I went to our gas station, and apparently they had put in these new chip readers because they didn't have them before. So I put my card in, and it sucks it in and it sticks, and I am panicking, and apparently there are signs I don't read, but I am panicking and I am basically fighting the machine. And then the lady comes on over the overhead speaker and it's kind of shaming me in a bless your heart kind of way. And she was very proud of me when I, left it alone. She was like, there you go, but anyway, so it was super embarrassing. But I posted it on Facebook just kind of as a PSA on my personal site, like, hey, heads up, there are these credit card readers and they will suck it in and it's supposed to happen. Just let it happen. But there were so many people that responded, oh, that happened to me. Oh, thanks for sharing. Thanks for the heads up. Some people were even like, yes, I already know that, too late for the PSA. And I'm like, well, thanks for warning me. But if you're being human, you can make those connections and you're more relatable. So, be yourself. That's really important. And people can really tell if you're not genuine. If you're there to sell people, if you're not there to add value, if you are, just there for your own sake, people can tell. People know you're not pulling anything over on someone, and you're going to kind of come off as untrustworthy. So be genuine and don't be afraid to be yourself. Also, Again, I've mentioned it, it's about connections. And Laura always says, which I always like this makes her more relatable and human, but she always tells people, I'll tell you anything you want to know about me. But, the only secrets I keep are other people's secrets. And it's hilarious every time she says it. But it's true. So you want to be authentic and trustworthy and genuine and just be a human, whether you're using technology or, just going through daily life, you want to be authentic.
I'm just going to add a tiny bit on to what she said. My career has been varied. So has Brooke's. And the way that I always got jobs, despite the fact of me having good grades and that kind of thing, is people liked me. And that sounds vain, but I'm going to own it. I have that personality that people want to talk to me and they want to tell me their secrets. And boy, do I keep a lot. But it's really, it really is something that is hard to hide and hard to put over on people, like Brooke said, if you're not actually being genuine, if you're literally only there to sell. We have that reputation of being shysters and sleazy and all that kind of stuff. Let's not feed into it. Let's, be transparent and honest, and people want to hire you anyway. So
she's not talking about she and I. She's talking about attorneys in general.
Yeah, we're in general. Thank you for that clarification. That is very welcome. I had just one little story before I move on to key number 2 is one of my roommates in law school, her grandfather, whenever he would call the house, he would ask, if I answered the phone, he would ask if the shyster was there, which we were still in law school, but it was kind of hilarious. Just saying. I also had shyster sauce from some event at like a Westlaw event. I don't know. It was like
I'm not making the case for us not being shysters any better.
We're amazing. We are genuine, all that stuff. Let's just not feed into that reputation, because I hate those jokes, because there really are some good lawyers out there, a lot of good lawyers out there. So let's just be, open and human and everything that Brooke said. Key number 2, moving on from the personal stories, is adding value. Brooke kind of mentioned this a minute ago. If adding value to your clients, your potential clients, just consumers in general, because all consumers are potential clients for you. And adding value above and beyond just your legal skills and your legal brain is huge for making those connections and, doing some free or cheap marketing out there for your services. And we'll talk about a couple of things in relation to adding value that is above and beyond just your legal knowledge or your legal services themselves that people pay you to actually draft documents. Number 1 is get on social media. Get active on social media. Brooke and I do a weekly consumer talk on Facebook Live. It's called Legal Talk Tuesdays. And we're not selling ourselves. We're just talking about tips. Hey, did you know this about divorce in Arkansas? Did you know that did you know that you need to have a living will as well as a will? They're not interchangeable like some people think they are. Just little tips and tricks. And hey, if you didn't know, here's some people that we are spotlighting in Arkansas that help form those connections with those people. It's really kind of nice. So get active on social media. You can do those little tip kind of 10-minute talks, but you can also do just regular lives. I know Brooke and I both know a lot of attorneys all over the country, and a lot of really successful, especially plaintiffs attorneys, but any kind really. They do Facebook Lives when they're on vacation, when they're I saw one recently where a personal injury attorney actually was doing something, and there was a car wreck outside his office. And so he walked outside and was like, here's why you need to call me, basically. It was just kind of, it was serendipitous, but it was kind of interesting. Nobody was hurt in the accident, just FYI. So get active on social media there. Number 2, within adding value, is offer your time and your knowledge to do CLE, seminars, webinars, again, for consumers, because if they see you talk, then you're in their brain. And so when they need that estate plan, when they need that personal injury attorney, whatever it might be, they're going to think of you. Last week, we co-sponsored a seminar here in Central Arkansas in Little Rock with a local women's organization. And they have a huge presence on Facebook and do a monthly coffee that is an in-person kind of event. And their goal is networking and getting people together, getting contacts together so that you utilize that community in order to better yourself. And it is a women-specific organization. Everybody knows we're, power to the women, but it can be any kind of group that you're interested in. I know, somebody who was recently talking about going and getting in front of, doing seminars with like a trucking organization. Just, hey, did you know that you need to do this to protect your drivers? That kind of thing. So those types of relationship building, it's huge, because now we have a community of women who before people would recommend us on the, on the site, on the closed group, but we've now touched them, not physically, but we have touched us.
Disclaimer. We have to put that disclaimer.
This is a Tuesday where I've been up running errands, all sorts of stuff. So
I need to put disclaimers on everything we say until we finish the vlog today.
But we were specifically talking about estate planning last week. We have another one scheduled, another seminar scheduled with the same group for November to talk about small business, because there are a lot of small business owners in this particular group. We've done coffee talks with different kind of women's groups around town about, Mythbusters for what you thought you knew about small businesses that really aren't true and what you really need to know, that kind of thing. So again, just use social media not only for your lives and getting your face out there, but also maybe use those to connect with groups that you can get in front of to do CLEs for other attorneys, seminars for consumers, whatever it might be. You can also, especially related to limited scope representation, but probably you can do this for kind of anything. You're not soliciting if you are writing letters to your your county circuit clerks, county circuit court, county clerks. There's a lot of alliteration. We were writing letters to our circuit clerks to kind of let them know, hey, here are the rules related to limited scope representation. Here are some tips on taking filings from pro se litigants. It's, we're here as a resource for you if you have questions about working with pro se litigants, that kind of thing. It's not really saying, hey, give me stuff. That might come, even though they're not technically allowed to do that, that might come. But it's really just kind of getting our name out there, letting the circuit clerks know kind of this is what it means to be a limited scope representation attorney. This is why you see our name on the bottoms of documents. Here are the rules related to taking, because we do have problems with some of the county clerks here telling our clients that they're not allowed to file something, that they have to have an attorney. So we end up having to get in touch with them and saying, hey, look, you're kind of violating the law by telling them they can't do that. So just another thing there. Last thing I'll talk about is another way to add value for consumers and do that kind of networking that we were talking about is volunteer. Volunteering on boards of nonprofits or committees, things like that can really lend your expertise, but you can also build a really good network based on that. So I specifically am the vice president and a founding board member of Q-Law, which is the it's Arkansas LGBT Bar Association that we started last year. I'm also on a couple of committees with the Law Practice Division, ABA. Specifically, I'm super excited about the Futures Committee that we're in the upcoming meeting that we have in Portland in a couple of weeks. And then I also mentor law students. So again, my name is out there for the law school. My name is out there to law students. I'm helping, and that is going to reap benefits in the long run. Brooke is also.
And Brooke does nothing. That's all Laura does.
Brooke is on all sorts of things. I think that's why I forget. She's famous. Brooke is on the ABA Tech Show board. She is also an Arkansas Bar CLE committee chair. And she was one of the kind of initial attorneys that was on the Bowen School of Law, which is the UALR School of Law Rural Incubator, which is a program that's trying to get attorneys and law school students and things like that to kind of recognize that we need attorneys out in the rural areas as well as in the big cities of Little Rock and Fayetteville and North Little Rock, that kind of thing.
Right. Thank you for that. We're almost forgetting me. No, so the third thing, the first is be authentic. The second is add value. Laura, you did a wonderful job talking about value. But the third is to reciprocity. If you are familiar with BNI, or if you're involved in BNI, which is a business networking group, then you are familiar with the term giver's gain. And if you are not associated with, nor have you had any exposure to BNI, giver's gain is essentially when you put the effort in to say you're going to, coffee one-on-one, or you're going to a group, you're there to help other people build their business, to be like their extended sales force, and to give, then in return, you gain the trust of those people. You gain the referrals from those people. You gain the respect from those people. And so giver's gain is a really good philosophy for when you're networking, when you are looking to build your business, especially on a budget, whether that's calling somebody up, attorney, non-attorney, whoever, somebody that you think could have a mutually beneficial relationship with you, and going and asking them to coffee to learn about their business, because inevitably you're going to talk about your business, and then they're going to appreciate that you made that effort. Another thing that you can do to reciprocate is, it takes a lot of work to spend time doing videos or creating content or getting out there. So, share the business the other attorneys post. If they have an event, we have several friends that do courses and things like that, or one-day events. Share those things, like those things, promote those things, attend those things if it's something that you can attend and it, is something that would be valuable to you, and refer to those people, not just to attorneys, but to non-attorneys. Be a referral source for them as well. Obviously, if you go to a group just because somebody else is in that group, I don't refer to people just because they happen to be in the same group as me. A lot of times I actually use them personally before I start referring them out. So it's okay to fill that out. You don't need to feel that obligation to refer to someone just because they're in the same circle as you. But take the time to get to know them and their businesses and refer out. Also, another thing that we do here is we like to highlight other attorneys, and we kind of do that whenever things come up. We also specifically devote Wednesdays on both our Arkansas Facebook page and on this Facebook page and our personal LinkedIn pages to highlight other women that are doing awesome things. On our Arkansas page, we focus on women in business here and highlight what they do. And for our attorney page, we highlight women that we respect and admire that are attorneys or that are affiliated with the legal profession, just because we want to help, boost them and make sure that they're recognized for the things that they're doing. But it's also a collaborative effort. Wendy Witt says it best, and she's commented before, and I've seen this before. She's amazing if you don't know her. But she says that we rise together. She always says hashtag we rise together, and it's really the truth. Specifically for us, like Laura said, we have a passion for helping other women and promoting other women. But, whatever it is, highlight and support one another.
Exactly. So we appreciate your time, like we always do, on our Tuesday Lawyering Outside the Lines. And, today we talked about 3 key things that you can do for relationship building. We're going to be here next Tuesday. So join us next week, which is, I'm not even going to say the date. Next Tuesday, it is
24th, maybe?
Yeah, it is October 24th. You're right. You're exactly right. Oh, darn. I almost said a bad word. September 24th. I don't know what month and day it is.
We'll be back before October. No worries, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back before then. Join us next week on September 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Mountain and 10 a.m. Pacific. We're not going to be there 11 p.m. unless you just watch us then, because you love seeing our faces. But thank you so much for joining us today. Talk about being authentic, right? This is us.
Yeah.
With a lot of work behind our belts already today and this week. And we hope that you have a great week and a very productive week. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.